temple. But then, on the morning of the dedication, tradition tells us, as happens after all great parties, Solomon slept in. And who dares to awaken a king? Only his mother. Her message to him is immortalized in the book of Psalms. Shir hamalos l'shlomo im Hashem lo yivne bayis shav lubonav bo im Hashem lo yishmar ir shav shakat shomer. If God does not build a house, its workers work for nothing. If God doesn't protect a city, guards are useless. Politics, networking, strategic alliances are not what ensures the success of an enterprise. We start building not with a plan, but with a vision. The first question is not how we will build the house, but what we're going to build it for. At Chabad over the last decade, there have been some key individuals who were foundational donors and took a lead in pushing this project forward, both financially and with their ongoing vision, guidance, and support. Without them, this expansion could not have happened. Joseph and Merrill Mark. Two of their children, Sam and Josh, attended Cornell, and they pushed us to think bigger. They helped us to buy the house next door to us at a time when building the new center still seemed an impossible dream. But they believed it would happen one day, and they knew that when the day came, that was the space we would need. It's all about real estate. Your trust in us and our future is something for which we will be forever grateful. Thank you, Joseph and Merrill. George Rohr, who had the resolve and the dedication to create the phenomena that is Chabad on campus today, strong on over 250 campuses. And while he holds the big picture, he has never lost sight of the individual needs of each center, coming forth generously and graciously to enable what seemed insurmountable. Thank you, George and Pamela Rohr. I also want to note with sadness the passing of Pamela's mother, Helen Nash, who notably shared the taste and spirit of Judaism with countless people. May Pamela be comforted with other mourners of Zion in Jerusalem. Bob Diener and David Littman, both Cornell alumni who partnered together in a number of highly successful business ventures, most famously to form Hotels.com. As they partner in business, they partner in philanthropy, always pushing us to set ambitious goals and to hold ourselves accountable. In 2023, David encouraged Chabad and the broader Jewish community to gather on the Art Squad for a day of Jewish unity. David himself flew in from Texas to take part and serve as a strong Jewish voice in the face of adversity, and he spoke about his experience growing up as a strong Jewish, growing up in a strong Jewish community. Both Bob and Michelle's daughter Noah graduated from Cornell in the spring of 2025, and his son Seth began his freshman year this fall. So they get regular nachas notes from their investment in Jewish life at Cornell. Bob and David ask the hard questions, yet have always been available to help us reach beyond what we believed we could accomplish. Thank you, Bob and Michelle, David and Malia. The Lansowicki family has provided us with generational philanthropy. We met Mati first as an undergraduate here at Cornell, and then his wonderful family. Mati used his years at Cornell here to start a business, but also to launch his philanthropic endeavors, using his business acumen to inspire Jewish life. Most notably, he launched the Tefillin and Candlelighting Challenges as a capstone project in the Dyson School, encouraging many students to strengthen their Jewish commitments. And when we got to know Gustavo, we could see that the apple did not fall far from the tree. This is a family whose greatest joy and pleasure is giving. Thank you, Gustavo and Karina, Mati and Tami, for your generational support. When the Lobel's son Jonathan showed up during orientation week for freshman falafel, he said the way to stay connected Jewish at Cornell is by being involved with Chabad. And indeed he was. Even after a very dramatic Sukkot when he was stung by a bee in our sukkah, Jonathan's parents supported Chabad while he was here, but also committed at that time to help us build this future building, even though it would be finished long after their son would benefit. Thank you, Rick and Julie, for your care and concern for the future of Jewish students at Cornell. And finally, Doug Green, who unfortunately is unable to be here today, but who literally held our hand through this project, because there are no courses on construction in rabbinical school. Doug bought the next house down the block. That's yet one more over, and for 2 years, visited regularly to make sure the construction proceeded according to plan. He sat through scores of building meetings with the contractors. He saved us from countless errors. He took the wheat and ground it into bread, and he made the idea a reality. Thank you, Doug and Carolyn. We could not have done it without you. So he taught us about a lot of interesting customs of construction, getting to write all over the foundation. And when we got to that point, after the foundation was laid, he asked us whether there was anything we wanted to say. And indeed, when we laid the foundation of the building, we inscribed it with a verse that we found fitting. And that's the one we started with, okay? If God does not build a building, may we merit that this house indeed be the house founded, built, and blessed by God, our work in it justified and well rewarded. All right, so show and tell, this is what you learn when you do pedagogy. One of the iconic associations with Hanukkah is the dreidel. According to lore, Jewish children who were forbidden to be taught Torah under the rule of the wicked king Antiochus nevertheless gathered in secret to study. When the soldiers burst into their classrooms, they would quickly take out dreidels or other toys to camouflage their actions. Rabbi Eli's mother grew up in Soviet Russia, and we used to hear lots of stories like this about how even children learned to cleverly hide their religious practice from oppressive authorities. If you're a serious historian, you look upon the dreidel story with some skepticism. Most believe the modern dreidel is no more than 500 years old, a variant of a children's top that was once popular in Western Europe. And yet, the Lubavitcher Rebbe of blessed memory taught that when customs become widely accepted and survive, with new layers of significance appended to them as they evolve, it's because something about them is deeply resonant, and it reveals a deeper, essential truth about our Jewish values. The first, that Hanukkah is a reminder of the centrality of unadulterated Jewish education. It tells us that learning doesn't need to be somber or dull or joyless or boring. The primary responsibility for transmitting Jewish values falls upon the parents, and this is our moment to take a moment to acknowledge the parents of the four of us here at Chabad, the Burks, the Cohns, Silbersteins, Steinmetzes, without whom none of us would be here today, because they are the ones that made our Judaism deep, meaningful, intriguing, joyous, playful, can I say fun? Regardless of the challenges, they created Jewish moments that we would cherish forever. So, 4 sides. Another more mystical explanation of the significance of the dreidel is that it represents 4 prototypical oppressions in the history of the Jewish people. Sometimes what is under our attack is the body, whether through slavery or torture or martyrdom. Our very physical being is seen as a threat, and this is the gimel, guf, which means body. At other times in our history, what's been under attack is the logical underpinnings of our belief, our philosophy, or our way of thinking. Our books are burnt. Our texts are viewed as subversive or bigoted or evil. Jewish ideas are seen as dangerous. This is the shin for seichel, thought. Sometimes, what's under attack is our soul, our elusive spirit, our instinctive connection to the transcendent sense of meaning that defies reductionist explanation. The academic study of Judaism is fine. It's the idea of a God or faith or their adherence to anything that cannot be rationally deconstructed that rankles. And that's the nun for nefesh, the soul of Judaism, which is the problem. And sometimes all the alarms get pulled at once. Everything and anything or nothing at all is enough to spark anti-Semitism. This is the hay, which stands for Hakol, everything. And sadly, with the recent attack on the first day of Hanukkah in Sydney, Australia, hay feels a little resonant today. In light of Jewish history, it was shocking, but not surprising. Senseless, brutal, unprovoked, it turns a holiday celebration into a bloodbath. It may feel sometimes that any way the dreidel falls, we lose. The reason hardly matters. And yet, just as the cubic dreidel counterintuitively manages to spin and rise on its tip again and again, no matter how many times it falls, we too have survived spinning through time by our reliance on a divine core or tip that allows us to defy the pull of gravity or the bounds of nature. This is what allows us to get up again and again and again, despite recurrent adversity. But enough with the mystical. I have some less esoteric reasons for choosing the dreidel as the organizing image of the opening. The 4 letters on the dreidel, Nun, Gimel, Hey, Shin, stand for, as you all learned in Hebrew school, Nes Gadol Haya Sham, a great miracle happened there. Today, we're marking a great miracle happening here for the Jewish community at Chabad of Cornell. And so let's take the letters one at a time. I'd like to start with Joe. Joe started from very modest circumstances, and he's been blessed by Hashem and his supportive family to have become the principal of American Landmark and Affiliates, a national real estate owner. He and his wife Pam have 3 great kids who are here today, and 2 grandchildren, all of whom are the love of his life. He's a 1978 graduate of Cornell, and one of his goals in life is to memorialize his grandfather, Morris Eskol, also known as Moshe Eshkolsky, who is one of a handful of Jews to graduate Cornell in 1916. He will address the theme of Nes, miracles, the ones we are granted, the ones we merit to partner in, and the ones we create.